Good afternoon, everyone. I love it when I get feedback. I'm Martha Ann Farmer, and I'm currently serving as the Interim Associate Dean for Enrollment Management at the School of Continuing Professional Studies. And I am here to welcome you all, and hope you enjoy the afternoon and the ceremony. I have a couple of announcements that I need to make. Of course, you know where the exits are. Ladies' room and men's room, and go out the exit, go down to the right, and go down to the first alley down there, and then the breakfast is there. If there's any kind of need for the exits, you see we have those in here, and there's another exit back there in the room behind us. Ask that you be respectful and turn off your phones during the ceremony so that our folks are not distracted. We want this to be a very special time for you folks. And we also ask that you be respectful of Andrew, who is our professional photographer. He will be taking pictures of his loved ones as they go across the stage here. And so you can come up and take your pictures, but just be respectful that he's taking professional photos that your folks are here to get. And with that, when the music starts, the fun will start, because that's when we will rise and honor our 2026 Master of Public Safety degree program graduates. So listen for the music. Thank you all.
Safety Diploma Ceremony. Thank you so much for being here. And before we even get going with the ceremony, let's do the first of what I think will be many of our congratulation claps, if you will, for the graduates. And we'll begin our ceremony with some remarks by the Dean of the School of Continuing and Professional Studies, Melissa Lubin. Melissa, would you please come up and share with us? Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Melissa Lubin, and I serve as the Dean of the University of Virginia School of Continuing and Professional Studies, or as we like to call ourselves, SCPS. And it is such a pleasure to stand before you today to celebrate the 2026 graduating class of SCPS's Master in Public Safety. Choosing to return to graduate school is no small decision. You balance demanding careers, family commitments, financial obligations, and the needs of the communities you protect. That takes courage, discipline, optimism, and perseverance. And none of this happens alone. Your families, friends, colleagues, and supervisors, your faculty, our faculty, and our staff help to make this moment possible. So if you would, please join me in showing appreciation for the support systems who stood with you throughout this journey. With that support behind you and your own determination, you reached this day, and what you have accomplished matters not only because you completed a rigorous graduate program, but because this education will deepen the public service you offer every day in the judgment you exercise, in the leadership you provide, and in the care with which you serve your communities. Today, we recognize 173 graduates, our largest graduating class to date. That number is striking on its own, but what is even more meaningful is what those 173 individuals represent. Years of service, quiet sacrifice, steadfast commitment, and a profound calling to stand behind others in moments when they need you most. We are living in a rapidly changing and increasingly complex world. The challenges public safety professionals face are not simple, and they are rarely static. They require technical skill, strong judgment, and a commitment to continuous learning. But they also require something even more important: humanity. The ability to listen before acting, the ability to communicate clearly in moments of stress, the ability to show restraint, empathy, and respect, the ability to see the person in front of you, not simply the situation or the call or the problem to be solved. Education strengthens those capacities. It broadens perspective, sharpens discernment, and equips leaders to respond with both wisdom and compassion. In that sense, what you have gained here will extend far beyond this ceremony. It will shape the quality of public service you provide and the trust you build in the communities that rely on you. That is one of the most important things this program affirms. Public safety is not only about authority, it is about stewardship. It is about earning trust, exercising discretion wisely, and leading with integrity. Every day, the people you are serving are looking not only for competence, but for calm, fairness, compassion, and professionalism. Those human skills are not secondary to the work, they are central to it. And education strengthens them. It invites reflection, expands understanding, and prepares leaders to navigate complexity with greater clarity, humility, and purpose. The result is not only stronger institutions, but stronger communities. And this graduating class embodies promise in extraordinary ways. You come from 40 states and several countries, including Brazil and Chile. We have many that are Zooming in and that couldn't be here today because of the work and lives that they have. And that reach reminds us that while the work of public safety is deeply local, the values that sustain it, service, courage, compassion, and care for others, are shared across communities, borders, and institutions. Together, you represent roughly 165 unique agencies, an extraordinary range of departments, offices, and organizations united by a shared purpose. Each of you serves in a different context with different pressures and different needs, yet all of you are called to strengthen the safety, stability, and confidence of the communities you serve. The education you have gained here will help you do so with greater perspective, and the qualities will help shape not only your own careers, but the lives of the people in the communities who depend upon your judgment. In closing, the University of Virginia has a proud tradition of public service and lifelong learning. Thomas Jefferson's vision continues to guide us as we bring together students, faculty, and staff committed to excellence, purpose, and impact. Graduates of the Master of Public Safety program embody that tradition, not only through the work you do every day, but for the way that you do it, with professionalism, thoughtfulness, and humanity. The education you have completed here will not remain here in Charlottesville. It will travel with you into briefing rooms, neighborhoods, communities, classrooms, and communities that you serve. It will inform how you lead, how you listen, how you respond, and how you build trust. And through that influence, it will strengthen the public service you provide and the communities you are called to serve. Congratulations to each of you. We are proud of you, grateful for your service, and confident that the education you have earned here will continue to enrich the lives of those you serve. Thank you for the example you set and for your dedication that you bring to public service. Wahoo-wah. So I'm now pleased to turn it over to Executive Director for our Center of Public Safety and Justice, Ben Heyman. Thank you, Ben.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me begin by extending my sincerest congratulations to each and every one of you on this professional milestone. It is truly outstanding that we can be here together today. For those of you that are in person, those that are virtual, and those that are working or have other obligations, and we still are celebrating with them. As Dean Lubin kindly introduced me, my name is Ben Heyman, and I have the privilege of serving as the Executive Director for the Center for Public Safety and Justice here at the University of Virginia. I'm honored today to be joined by several distinguished colleagues who've worked tirelessly to bring the Master of Public Safety program to life and to guide you through your academic journey. To the faculty who are here with us today and those that could not join us due to other obligations, thank you for your service and helping these graduates on their journey. Can we give our faculty a round of applause, please? In particular, I'd like to recognize Dr. Brian Gustafson and Kristen Mahoney, whose leadership has helped grow this program into what it is today. I'm also deeply grateful to Dean Melissa Lubin and Associate Stephen Levine for their steadfast support and personal investment in our students and the broader public safety mission. I hope you take many things from this experience, but most importantly, I hope you leave here better prepared, thoughtful, competent, and as intelligent leaders in today's public safety environment. My own career began with the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department, where I saw firsthand the impact that effective and emotionally intelligent leadership can have in organizations and the people within it. To the graduates here today, you are not simply leading complex public safety operations, you're leading people, and those people must remain your priority. Public safety careers are unlike any other profession. They have immense pressure, the expectations are constant, and there are experiences in this line of work that you cannot simply unhear or unsee. The people you lead carry those burdens with them every single day. As you graduate and return to your agencies with this new knowledge, the new perspective, and the experience of the University of Virginia education, I encourage you to think deeply about the kind of leader you want to be and how you will support, how you'll develop, and care for the people entrusted to your leadership while continuing to push them to grow. I also want to recognize what it took for each of you to reach this moment. Many of you completed this program while working extraordinarily demanding jobs, leading organizations, responding to crises, raising families, and continuing to serve your communities every single day. Public safety professionals understand sacrifice better than most people. Your commitment to continued education despite of those demands is something you should be deeply proud of. You're graduating at a uniquely important moment for public safety and public service in many communities and nationally. Today's leaders operate in environments shaped by rapid information flows, heightened public scrutiny and institutional distrust, political polarization, rapid evolving technology, and workforce shortages in most every public safety environment. In the middle of that is the work that you do. Whether you are serving in policing, corrections, EMS, fire service, or another aspect of public safety, your leadership matters enormously. Being smart, ethical, thoughtful can change organizations. You shape culture, you influence the trust that those have in your organization, and ultimately impact the lives in the communities that you serve. The one thing I hope you carry forward in your leadership is optimism. In public safety, it is very easy to become cynical. The pressures are real, the criticism can be constant, and over time that can impact organizations and the people within them. But optimism in leadership has value. Optimistic leaders build strong cultures, they motivate people during difficult moments, they create resiliency within organizations when it matters most, and they remind others that this work still matters. Your attitude, perspective, and professionalism will influence the people around you more than you realize. Public safety leaders who can acknowledge challenges without becoming consumed by them, and those who believe they can still make positive impacts on their community they serve, make a huge difference. The reality is you can do those things. As I close, the Center for Public Safety and Justice, launched formally just 18 months ago, has already gained remarkable momentum, and you are now part of this story. I see several of the graduates here today whom I've had the pleasure to get to know through so many different aspects, including the National Criminal Justice Command College, operationalizing Never Again in Poland, and past colleagues at the Metropolitan Police Department. As the center continues to grow, we remain committed to advancing education, research, and the opportunity to connect public safety leaders from across the country and around the world. Carry this experience with you, continue investing in each other, continue learning, and take pride in being part of the strong tradition of leadership and service here at the University of Virginia. I genuinely look forward to watching the impact that each of you will make on your organizations and your communities. The communities you serve may never understand the sacrifices that you make, but they will feel the impact of your leadership every single day. Congratulations again on your graduation. We are incredibly proud of you, and we cannot wait to see your careers unfold in the way that you lead. It's now my pleasure to introduce Kristen Mahoney, our Senior Director for Educational Programs. Kristen.
Hi, everybody. Congratulations. Isn't this much nicer than being outside? I mean, it's kind of melting out there. But it was beautiful, and I really enjoyed it. But thank you, and thank you for your families and friends for coming. I just have a couple of things to share with you. I am new to the center, but not new to policing. I used to be the Chief of Technical Services at the Baltimore Police Department, and I spent some time at the Department of Justice where I got to work with a lot of police agencies across the country. And some of the things that I think that you all might have learned in the master's program might be that you ask how come and why not a lot more than you did before you started the master's program. I think that you might think about your stakeholders differently as not just people that you've got to kind of touch once in a while, but people that need to come under your tent and become a real part of your problem-solving apparatus. I think through reading your comp exams with my colleagues, I saw how some of you see that now that community engagement is a verb, not a noun. Like, you're not in a community engagement office, you're figuring out your community engagement strategy to help you win. I also see that you, just last night, I could see it at the reception, how you're already and have been using your network, that you're all connected, that you all have this incredible knowledge base that you didn't have when you got here. You can shoot like different policies to each other to take a look at. You can ask how promotional exams work in another agency. Don't give up on that network. That's what really makes this educational experience special. And I guess the other thing is, I think you probably have learned to become pathological problem solvers, where you might have felt that in the past, that's not your deal, that's the chief's deal, that's the lieutenant's deal, that's the public health department's deal. But I think what you've learned from your faculty and watching and reading the materials and me checking out various Zoom sessions, that you realize that you can be a pathological problem solver. You don't have to own the problem, but you can bring others to the problem with your own pathology. And then finally, what I would say is, I hope you learn how to steal. That is, steal good ideas, become kleptocrats, constantly steal. The answers are right there. They're not on Mars. They might be in Brazil, but they're not like in Antarctica. So they're right here. So use that and really become that, continue or become that kleptocrat that really is gonna make you successful when you go back home. You've got this support and you've got those new capacities. So congratulations. I'm gonna now introduce your student speaker, who I'm sure you're gonna be able to steal a lot from, I hope, Captain Joseph Langford. Captain Joseph Langford is from the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, and he's been married for 27 years to his wife, Ellie. They have 5 children, the youngest of which graduates from high school this year. That's scary, right? He is a 22-year veteran of the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, where he's enjoyed, this is his bio, he says he's enjoyed assignments in various investigative places, such as 5 years in the Homicide Division and as a Detective Bureau Sergeant. He's currently the commander of the District 1 Patrol Division. Captain Langford is a graduate of the FBI National Academy, Class 290. He was awarded UVA's Community Public Service Fellowship and was conferred his Master of Public Safety on August 8th, 2025. Recently, Captain Langford participated in the Operationalizing Never Again program through UVA's Center of Public Safety and Justice in Berlin and Poland. Besides time spent with his family, Captain Langford spends his leisure time as the main cook barbecue chef for his family. He's an avid golfer, and he enjoys the occasional cigar as he tends to several flower gardens in the yard. Captain?
Thank you very much. I'm not going to just avoid this thing for a while. Good afternoon. First, some thank yous are in order. To my classmates, thank you. Being chosen to speak on your behalf is an honor I don't take lightly. You are some of the most dedicated, thoughtful, and resilient professionals I have ever had the pleasure of associating with, and the fact that you entrusted me to this moment means a lot to me. To my wife and my family, thank you for supporting me through a journey that started with a 10-week stay at the FBI National Academy in Quantico back in the spring of 2024. You carried the weight at home so I could carry the weight of this work, and I'm here today because of your patience and your encouragement and your belief in me. Thank you, Ellie. I know you're there. There you are. To my Chief of Police, Chief Robert Tracy, thank you for taking a chance on me when others wouldn't. You placed your trust in me to represent the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department when others would not. You placed your trust in me to I lost my place already. I'm sorry. And this opportunity changed the trajectory of my career. I am deeply grateful for the confidence you showed in me then and for the continued support you've given as I pursued this Master of Public Safety degree. To our professors, thank you for your time, the energy, and the genuine care you poured into this program. You stepped away from your own demanding professional lives to make sure that we succeeded, and we are better leaders because of all of you. Now, I should probably address the elephant in the room. Those of you that know me and have spent time with me, and that I'm a very quiet person. I don't like to say very much. I'm the kind of guy that sits in the corner, keeps to myself, never offers an opinion, so standing up here is pretty difficult for me. And don't worry, I promise that none of this speech will include any APA formatting. So I would appreciate if Dr. Plummer doesn't take any points off. Seriously though, this journey has been meaningful for all of us. And it began in a very special place for me and several other top 1%ers that are sitting in the audience here. Several fellow class 290ers who are watching this at home as well. The FBI National Academy was where many of us first realized that even after decades of service, we still had more to learn and more to give. I was also among almost 50 years old, sitting in a classroom in Quantico, surrounded by leaders from around the world. And that experience opened the door to UVA. It set me on a path that led me to this moment, standing here with all of you. Standing here today, looking out at this group, I'm reminded of something that we all learned long before we ever opened a UVA course module. Public safety is not a job, it's a commitment. A commitment to show up when others step back. A commitment to lead when the path forward is unclear. A commitment to keep learning. Even when the world insists that we already know enough. It's what characterizes us as professionals instead of an occupation. This program tested that commitment in ways none of us expected. We balanced coursework with shift work, family responsibilities, late night calls, early morning reports, and the constant weight of the communities we serve. We wrote papers in patrol cars, joined Zoom discussions from break rooms and our offices at the station, and squeezed constitutional analysis between meetings and kids' activities. A few of us, I even remember, if I recall, were phoning in on Zoom while they're driving. And somehow we kept going. But what made this journey meaningful wasn't just the work. It was the people. We learned from classmates who brought perspectives shaped by policing, fire service, emergency management, corrections, federal service, and military leadership. We debated hard topics with honesty and humility. We challenged each other, supported each other, and reminded each other that leadership is not about rank. It's about responsibility. And we grew. Not just in knowledge, but in perspective. Not just in skill, but in purpose. UVA didn't give us easy answers, it gave us better questions. Questions about legitimacy, equity, constitutional authority, and the moral weight of the decisions we make. Questions about how to lead in a world where trust is fragile, expectations are high, and the margin for error is very small. Each of the 5 core classes in this program pushed us in different ways and shaped us into more thoughtful, capable professionals. Constitutional framework of public service grounded us in the authority we hold and the limits that protect the people we serve. Transformational leadership challenged us to think about how we influence others, how we build trust, and how we lead organizations through change. Emergency preparedness forced us to confront the reality that planning, coordination, and communication save more lives than any single response ever will, and exposed us to the realities of political realities of emergency management. Creating and sustaining community dialogue reminded us that legitimacy isn't granted by a badge or a title. It's earned through trust, transparency, and relationships. And steward of public assets taught us that leadership is ultimately about people. developing them, supporting them, and leaving the organization stronger than we found it. Together, these courses didn't just educate us, they reshaped how we see our roles and responsibilities as public safety professionals. Several of us in this room were also fortunate to participate in, as part of the law enforcement delegation operationalizing Never Again in Berlin and Poland last month, an experience that left a profound mark on each of us. It was more than a historical trip. It was an unflinching examination of the traumatic role law enforcement played in the atrocities committed by Nazis, and a sobering reminder of the devastating consequences when a society begins to dehumanize its most vulnerable populations. At the same time, it was a powerful exploration of the principles of democratic policing: accountability, restraint, humanity, and the courage to stand against injustice. This program has grown into one of the most vital professional experiences available to public safety leaders, and I want to thank Ben Heyman and the entire team at the Center of Public Safety and Justice, in conjunction with Rutgers University, for the opportunity to participate in that program. Thank you, sir. Don't worry, I'm almost done. And now, as we stand here after walking the lawn, a place steeped in history, tradition, and the idea that education should serve the public good, we carry those questions with us into the next chapter of our careers. We leave here with a deeper understanding of what it means to lead, what it means to listen, to serve, and to steward the institutions we've inherited so they're stronger for the people who come after us. To my classmates, thank you. Thank you for your candor, your courage, your humor, and your willingness to push each other towards something better. You made this program more than a degree, you made it a community. To our families, thank you for the sacrifices you made so that we could be here today. This achievement belongs to you as much as it belongs to us. To the rest of the class of 290 and the LOTG, see you all soon. I look forward to the next time. And to the MPS class of 2025 and 2026, we walk away from this program not with certainty, but with clarity, not with answers, but with the tools to find them, and not with a title, but with a responsibility to lead with integrity, to serve with humility, and to never stop learning. Congratulations, classmates. It's been an honor to walk this journey with you.
That was great. Thank you, Captain. All right, it's my privilege to introduce our faculty speaker for final exercises, Dr. Brian Gustafson. Brian Gustafson launched the Master of Public Safety program in 2021 and helped build what would become the Center for Public Safety and Justice. Last year, he made the decision to step aside from leading those efforts directly, which ultimately opened the door for me to step into this role at UVA. For that and for the guidance that he continues to offer me along the way, I will always be deeply grateful. Throughout his distinguished career, Dr. Gustafson has served as Dean of Public Safety at American River College, Chief Sergeant at Arms for the California State Assembly, Chief of Police for the Stockton Unified School District Police Department, and Chief of Standards and Evaluation and Research for the California Commission on Police Officer Standards and Training. He is also an accomplished scholar, a graduate of the FBI National Academy, and holds a PhD in Public Affairs from the University of Colorado, Denver. What I think most people appreciate, however, many students appreciate the most, however, is how personally the doctor is invested in their success. He is quick to offer both encouragement and the appropriate level of tough love to students who are balancing leadership, family, graduate school, and the pressure of comprehensive exams. He is deeply committed not just to academic standards, but to the personal growth of all of the professionals sitting in this room today. So we've spent a lot of time this year since I've joined the University of Virginia talking about the promises and peril of of artificial intelligence. So naturally, I asked ChatGPT what Thomas Jefferson might say about Dr. Gufuston. And according to ChatGPT, Mr. Jefferson would probably say, at the University of Virginia, I had hoped for a faculty devoted to public service, disciplined inquiry, and the improvement of society. I did not anticipate Brian Gufuston, but he appears to have understood the assignment. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Gufuston.
All right, everybody, hang in there. It's been a long day. I know I'm the last thing between you and your diploma. When I was earlier in my career, I thought that emotions made you weak. Now I feel like they make me human. I am very human today. So we'll see. I've practiced this, but I haven't gotten through it without crying. One other thing. If you do anything else in the next 48 hours, I'd encourage you to go to UVA's YouTube and watch the speech by President Ryan. He gave it on Friday. It's called Do the Right Thing. Please do that for me. I see one person too. Yeah. You'll find it, I think, inspirational. So I had intended and nearly managed to have my fellow professor, the Honorable Chief Justice Tani Kantil-Saka-Uye, here to speak to you today. That would have been great. But her family needs her, and she's judged that conflict appropriately. Thank you, yeah. So I thought about what I had to offer you. What could I leave you with as you celebrate the culmination of this graduate degree and I conclude 5 years leading the program? And I've decided this is an opportunity to have one more lesson, to revisit what I hope have been the biggest takeaways. And I need just a few minutes to do this, because even though you've read thousands of pages over hundreds of hours, it's all been in service of really a handful of big ideas. And I will caution you that this will not be a rainbows and ponies talk. This is not my fun talk. I've already given you all my laugh lines, because these are challenging times, and you graduates have weighty responsibilities now and in the months and years ahead. So I'm going to do as I've done when I've taught. I'm going to share a little of my history, where I got some things more and less right and wrong, and then connect my hindsight to your future, because not all lessons need to be learned firsthand. So to make my first point, I had originally planned to call on my colleague and now fellow professor, Gordon Graham. But he's ill, and he made the smart risk calculation not to travel. All right, maybe there was another laugh line. Predictable is preventable. Please send Gordon good thoughts as I engage him in absentia. I've known Gordon for a long time. We met at Quantico in the summer of 2004, and I was a young police lieutenant attending the 218th National Academy with my friend and now fellow professor Jay Farr, who was a deputy chief back then and surprisingly tolerant of my strongly held views. Then and now, Jay, thank you. Anyway, Gordon was already a legend at this point in time, and he had just given a dynamic talk, and I was enthralled and said so to my friend, Christina Manriquez. Christina was a CHP captain and had worked with Gordon, and she asked me if I wanted to meet him. And I did. And Gordon and I have sustained a long dialogue since. Now, over the past 20 years, Gordon and I have disagreed about a lot of things. But we have a few notable points of agreement. I want to highlight those. First, we both agree that it is a gift to meet people wherever you go and to talk to them and to learn from those encounters with random strangers. Second, we both agree that we have amazing spouses who have helped us to be much better people than we could have been on our own. So much gratitude to Mrs. Renee Graham and Professor Sarah McClellan. And third, we both agree that some people just need to die. I see I have your attention now, and there's some mixed reactions there. But to be clear, Gordon and I are thinking of active shooters when we share that agreement. We don't have hit lists or anything. And it's okay not to agree with us. This is not the issue. The idea that some people need to die stands in stark contrast to one of Gordon's most enduring principles, that the primary objective of law enforcement and public safety is the preservation of human life. Both things are true, and the fact that these two contradictory ideas can be held by the same person at the same time is what I want to talk about. This is the issue. The discipline you all are being credentialed in today as masters is one that lives inside paradoxes our society wants to resolve. Force in service of freedom, authority in service of autonomy, certainty in the moment, and humility about the moment afterward. The discipline, the work, is not about resolving, but rather enduring and carrying and navigating those paradoxes. In October 2001, just a few weeks after the towers came down in Manhattan, I stood at a different podium and gave a commencement speech about good and evil and a front line that was ours to defend. I quoted W.T. Perkaiser, Benjamin Franklin, M. Scott Peck, and Justice Cardozo. I meant every word, but most of it has not aged well. The impulse to name evil wasn't wrong, but the certainty about where the boundary was to resolve that line, that was misplaced by many people. And the cost of that misplaced certainty showed up in the years that followed in ways that cost lives and credibility and trust. So here we are in 2026, and the country you serve today is more polarized and more distrustful of institutions, and especially government. It's more fragmented in what it considers true than the country I spoke of in 2001. The temptation to resolve that complexity by picking a tribe is stronger now on every side, including inside this profession. You all have examples in your own organizations and communities. And if you don't, if you live and work somewhere where everyone thinks and believes the same thing, I'd encourage you to look back at the tragedies of Jonestown or Heaven's Gate and think about what made them possible. There's danger in universal, unexamined agreement. So I've spent years teaching what I call the miracle of federalism, that nearly inexplicable American system in which the same act is legal in one state and illegal in the next. Federalism confounds many foreign visitors, but our country hasn't flown apart because the founders, some of whom walked across the same lawn you did this morning, they made a structural bet that holding disagreement together would prove more durable than resolving it. So at altitude and in the abstract, it is a miracle. But up close and personal, it's often a mess and occasionally a cruelty. The same federalism that lets a state experiment with what works also lets the line between legal and illegal, protected and prosecuted run straight through the lives of the people you know and serve. My mentor, Chet Newland, refers to this feature of federalism as the struggle for connectedness. So your work as leaders is to hold both at once. Honor the structural wisdom without pretending the daily mess isn't real, and attend to the daily mess without losing the structural wisdom that makes a pluralistic country possible. Pluralistic. I first learned about pluralism from the late Professor James Wiggin when I was an undergrad at Syracuse in the 1990s. He was a patient and gracious man, and I needed that being a somewhat high-maintenance student. And some of you have been high maintenance. I mean, come on, it's a thing. Are you sure it wasn't a straight A? All right. Pluralism, as he taught it, is an ethic for living together in a complex society that goes beyond tolerance. It's not just putting up with difference. It accepts that there isn't just one right way. And that's very different from relativism, where anything goes depending on your standpoint. We have socially constructed boundaries. We have a rule of law. We have constitutional protections, due process, and professional standards. They are the structure inside which choice and agency become both possible and required. Actions outside the boundaries are wrong because we as a society have agreed on those boundaries. And I want to emphasize American pluralism. Out of many, one, a union, connectedness, not a melting pot. We have many races, religions, and cultures in the US. It's the structure of our society, and it's embedded in our constitutional framework, from federalism to the First Amendment. The gray, the choices, that's for each person to figure out. Each of us as leaders need to have some sense of our big rocks, commitments that might not be immovable, but are enduring. That's the agency, that's your choice. Personally, there are commitments and choices that I've stopped arguing about. The active shooter must be stopped. A person in custody is owed their human dignity. And this is not because I have defined the principles of truth, but because I've watched what happens when the active shooter is not stopped, or when people in custody are not treated with dignity, and the watching has been enough. I know where I stand on those issues. They are not in my field of gray. Many other things are genuinely up for debate. So I act on a few things as though they were fixed, and a much larger number of things I hold loosely. I encourage you to do this too. The work is knowing which is which in the moment you are in. This is the gray zone, and it's the challenge of mastering public safety. The disposition that this program has tried to cultivate in you is humility as a practice rather than a personality trait. Engagement with the other as a habit rather than happenstance. And the pursuit of reason and evidence over rhetoric and custom. I'll say it again, evidence. Evidence. Bring that to your exams. You've experienced this in the One Small Step dialogue project, and my hope is that you keep taking those one small steps one after another. Now, I won't pretend that this is easy and free. Reserving judgment and holding gray when tribes demand a side is professionally costly. Curiosity about the other when the other is calling for your resignation is hard. But the duty falls to you precisely because this country has plenty of leaders who can pick a side and few who can stay anchored to their commitments, especially when taking the other seriously. I hope you leave this program more confident and less certain than when you arrived. Less certain about sides and lines and easy choices. More confident in the commitments you choose to hold. So when you find yourself facing some paradox that someone, your mayor, your faith leader, your friend wants you to settle, think of your time here and remember that the work is not resolving the paradox, but enduring, carrying, navigating it without letting it tear you in half. Congratulations.
Before we move to the presentation of the diplomas, we have one surprise from Dean Levine. Go ahead.
So each year at the University of Virginia, each school is asked to select an outstanding person to give an award to. And what I mean by person is someone who's not only achieved something academically, that's not only accomplished that way, but also is remarkable in terms of their service to their community, their profession, what have you. And so again, each school gets one person to select. This year, as you know, there was 173 people just in this program who accomplished a lot academically and have done a whole lot in their communities. And we also have other graduates as well in other programs, many of them. So this is a very special award. This year's winner comes from the Master of Public Safety, and it is Thelma Vega.
Thank you. All right, Elizabeth and Susan, you want to start with the diploma part? Let's do it. You're going to do it here. Yeah, there we go. All right. Brian James Smith. Tab Patrick. Mayolo Banilus. Laura Shelton. Robert Han III. Joseph Langford. Sherelle Nicole Williams. Darnell Robinson. Jonathan Lee. Daniel Gilbert Gonzalez. How do you say it? Nathan Antonettes. Allison Lawbacker. Kathleen Ann Bouchinet. Simon Cheng. Marlene Hernandez. Bobby Lamont Cuthbertson. Colby Russell. Michael Joyce. Alan Ray Lester. Alan Bonanno. Megan Elizabeth Cohen. Veronica Rodriguez. Angelica Rivas Molina. Abigail Mackenzie McCool. Audrell Malene Ragland. Joshua Alexander Penn. Brian Swithworth. I got that. I can do it. Ryan Alexander Vienna. Stephen Hopes. Scott Evan Pamaronitz. Nathan Chase Shelton. Eric Kohler. Jennifer Lee Inkster. Joyce Timbal Gomez. Michelle Greep. Laura Yates Lanham. Justin Mastowski. Danielle Steller. Kenrick Rashawn Montgomery. Mario Sergio Di Oliverio Pinto. I tried. Javed Bell. Petey, thank you. Nathan Alexander Petey. Brent DeGroot. Ian Christopher Floyd. Donald James Gray. Jacob Carlos Carroll. Robert Gatza. Ernest Charles Payne. Michael Mowat. Yep. All right. Before we go into the closing part of this ceremony, I want to recognize the graduates that have joined us by Zoom. Here they are. Josh Hester. Elizabeth Marie Frost. Carrie Fowler Chador. Maria Tavizio. Michael Satter. Nicholas Cleason. Braden Bindrup. And Christian Highland Hansen. Thank you all. All right, as we conclude today's final exercises, I want to offer a sincere thank you to our deans, faculty, staff, families, and supporters. I'd also like to apologize for butchering your names. I'll do better next time. Your guidance, sacrifice, and encouragement help make this achievement possible. And to our graduates, thank you for your commitment to public service and for choosing to continue growing as leaders while serving your communities. Congratulations to the class of 2026. We are incredibly proud of you all and all that you have accomplished. And we look forward to seeing the impact that you will continue to have in your communities, organizations, and profession. Please stay connected with us, and please stay connected with one another as part of the growing UVA Public Safety Network. This concludes our ceremony, but not our celebration. At this time, we'd like to invite the graduates and their guests to come forward to the stage for photographs and spend some time together before returning home this afternoon. So, thank you all. We will have the graduates first, and then we can get their families. Come on up.
Thank you.
Yep.
Just